Morrie Subaru is here today with the new 2016 BRZ. Now what I'd like to do is show you around the exterior, some of the new stuff inside, and then provide you with a driving review. So the BRZ for 2016 is going to remain mostly unchanged from the 15 with a few exceptions on the inside. On the exterior though, you have a new Hyper Blue series which can be found in the 16 model. That's going to be a little bit lighter of a blue than this. You're going to add the 17-inch blacked out wheels as well as some different stuff inside. As far as the exterior of the vehicle, again it's going to remain mostly unchanged from the 15 as well as the engine and transmission. Now this is the only Subaru that's rear wheel drive. If you haven't driven one, you absolutely have to. Now I've driven one of these on a racetrack that was a few years ago, and this one seems like it's only better since then. It's not the fastest vehicle out there. I mean, at 200 horsepower out of this 2-liter, it does get up and move just fine for day-to-day driving, but once you hit the track, as long as you don't slow down, you are gonna have so much fun out there. But otherwise, day-to-day driving, the BRZ is lacking on a little bit of space. The trunk's a little bit smaller than maybe most people might need, but hey, if you're looking for a fun-to-drive car that sounds good, feels good, and looks like this for this price point, this is absolutely one to check out. All right, so now we're behind the wheel of the new 2016 BRZ. So this one does have the optional 6-speed. You can do an automatic as well. With 200 horsepower, you're gonna probably want to drive the manual. I haven't personally driven the automatic. I've heard it's a little pokey, but you know what? With the manual and the chassis on this car, this is one of the most fun cars you can drive for the money. And there's a pretty decent amount of competition in here. The one that kind of sticks out to me that might not be the most predominant competition, but is definitely there, would be the Fiesta ST. I mean, you're looking at the same horsepower, you're looking at kind of similar styling. That one's got the hatchback, so you got a little more room to haul, but it's not as much fun to drive, I don't think, as the BRZ. Subaru has that rally lifestyle, that is their heritage. That's where Subaru's made its bread and butter. And I think the BRZ is a great example of a fun car for not a ton of money that you can take out to the track on the weekend if you want to, or if you're just driving to work every day, you're gonna have a fun time doing it. So with the 16, again, there wasn't a lot of changes like I mentioned. One thing they did change is gonna be the infotainment system, which is light years better than the old Subaru system. Besides that, there's not much more. Exterior-wise, it's gonna be very similar. The ride and drive with the new yellow that's gonna come out is gonna be a little bit different. That one has a few suspension changes as well as a few different packages that are offered with that one. But I mean, as far as a fun to drive, I mean, mid $20,000 sedan, this one does have the leather seats with kind of the suede inserts in here, which I really do like, and I think it's worth the optional package to get that. But overall, you're not gonna have a bad time in the cloth seats as well. So how does it ride and drive? For someone who's never driven one, it's a little bit harder to explain, and kind of without getting behind the wheel and seeing that a lot of the complaints out there, a lot of reviews say the car's so doggy that it just doesn't have the power to get up and go. But you know what? I mean, when you put your foot down, I'm in 4th gear, it's gonna get up and move. I mean, it's not a fast car, but it's definitely a momentum car that once you get going, if you're going through corners, you barely feel like you have to slow down, and that could get you into a little bit of a trouble maybe, but you know what, it might be worth it for the fun you have. Other amenities in here, there's not anything you don't really need. The dual climate control is nice. The heated seats are really nice because it's not the leather in the centers, so those get hot in a hurry. You could throw some snow tires on this thing and practically drive it year round. I mean, I've seen plenty of them out here in the Minnesota winters bombing around, and yeah, it's not the typical all-wheel drive Subaru, but you know, it gets the job done. So who would look at the BRZ? Like I mentioned, there is some pretty good competition out there, but if you want a sporty car that absolutely handles like it's on rails, gets really good fuel economy, and as well as fun to drive, the BRZ is definitely my top pick in this class. And I think that, you know, for the money, it's hard to beat the fun you can have in this car. And it's been out a few years now, so if you're looking for a used one, that's certainly an option. Those are starting to drop, but you know what? A brand new one, I mean, starting around $25,000, This car is so fun for the money. Get out and drive one. You will not regret it. On behalf of Morrie Subaru, thanks for watching. Now, if you'd like to schedule your test drive in the all-new BRZ, make sure to call, click, or stop by today. Thanks again for watching, and make sure you buy happy.